Hi everyone, Dave the Builder here from Instagram. We're going to do a quick Slentre Braidator tutorial. This concept was originally brought to Instagram from Tommy McQueen. He does some ridiculous braids, and I just want to show you because I know a lot of people ask how I did the Slentre or how you loop it over the cores, and we're just going to do something nice, quick, and easy for you to get a general idea. I think the only tutorial out there right now is a picture tutorial, so we're going to get up close, and we're going to use some 28 gauge wire today to do the braid, just so you can see it. Normally I'd recommend you use 34 36 because it's a wide flat braid, and we'll just do something like two basic 24 gauge cores to go around. So here it is. I hope you really enjoy this. Okay, so here's a little up close view. Hopefully you guys can see it. I don't normally make tutorials. I have two straightened pieces of 24 gauge. You can use Kanthal or Nichrome. Most of my braids I tend to do single coil, sometimes dual coil, depending on what I use for the cores. Now obviously this is pretty thick. I set up 5 loops for the braid. Alright, how I set my loops up is I'll draw it out, pull them, I'll tie both ends in overhand knots, alright, and then I'll twist them together like that. It doesn't gotta look pretty at the end, because this is just to join everything together. That way I know all my loops are nice and secure. Alright, now we're going to clamp them into the vise, and we're going to begin the Slentre braiding technique. Okay, now that I have my loops and my cores in the vise, I straighten these for a reason. They tend to stay together when you straighten them, and I like to keep my cores several inches. I'd say in this particular case they're about 3 inches shorter than my loops. That'll just make it more manageable, so when you come through the loop, through the cores with the loops, alright, you can just pass right over them. Now that I have my loop set up, this is how we're going to do it. Alright, you're going to be using your index finger right here. That's going to be your transfer finger. That's going to be your operator. Okay, normally when you're doing regular braiding, you're going to be using your ring finger, but with the Slentre braid, you're going to have to do your index finger. Now, instead of your palms facing each other, what you're going to do is your palms are going to be facing down. Okay, so these are the motions. It's kind of like braiding in reverse or backwards. All right, so you're going to take your index finger, okay, and you're going to go through the first 2 loops. Now this is 5 loops, 2 loops on your starting hand. Index finger goes through these first 2 loops. Okay, what I like to do is I kind of stick my thumb in there and I grab the last loop closest to me and I bring it over, and then I go through the cores, and then I'll transfer my fingers down so my index finger will be free to make my next move. And then what I'll do is I'll actually just come here and I'll tighten it like that. Okay, we'll do it a couple more times so you guys can you can see the motions. Index finger, all right, you're gonna come through here, through the first loop, through the second loop, grab the third loop closest to you, and now bring that around the cores. Make your shift so you have this index finger free, and then all you're gonna do is you're gonna tighten. Now your first couple of moves aren't gonna be you're not going to start making the braid right away. I'd say it takes like maybe 4 moves to start creating the actual braid. So you come through, again, go through the core, shift down, and then you'll tighten. Sorry about the movement. My vise is actually, my tripod's mounted to my vise. So we'll keep doing that. Alright, third loop, bring it through. Now it's on your finger, shift down, and then you're going to tighten. And after a few moves, now this is 28 gauge, so it's a little bit more difficult to work with because it's so stiff. After a few moves, you're going to start to notice your braid taking shape. This is going to be very, very wide for two 24 gauge cores, but this is just to show you how to do it. All right, so I'll see if I can keep explaining as I'm doing here. Okay, index fingers free. All right, go through the first two loops with your index finger. So you're going to come in. All right, now you're underneath these two loops, and you're going to grab the loop. You're going to grab the side of the loop that's closest to you, or the shank. You're going to pull that through, go over the cores, and then that's going to be on your index finger. You do your shift, and you just tighten. Now you don't got to really pull, because when you're using fine gauge wire, pulling will snap your wire. And as time consuming as braiding is, you really don't want to snap a wire when you only have an inch of braid. That's not fun. All right, shift that through and then tighten. All right, now you have your index finger. Always remember to make your transfer. You always want your index finger free. All right, sometimes I just let the loop sit back in my hand. I'll go through one loop, go through the other loop, grab the inner shank. You're gonna pull that through around the cores. So now this loop, one side is above the cores, one side is under. I'm gonna shift down to keep this index finger free for my next move. And then I'm gonna tighten. So already my braid is starting to take shape, and I'll see if I can do a few more moves so you can I can get a macro shot. But this is a pretty sexy looking braid. After a while you get the hang of the moves and you can just kind of crank it out like this. I've done a few braids. I like it. I enjoy it. It's very therapeutic. And they also make for some pretty crazy single coil vapes. All right. So again, index finger through the first loops, and you can play with these patterns. Grab the inside shank. Now the cores are going to pass through that loop, and you're going to grab it again, shift, and then you're going to tighten. Okay. Grab it again, around the loop, shift your fingers, and then tighten. So instead of using your ring finger as the operator and having your palms facing each other, you're going to keep your palms facing down. Okay, go through, pull through the core, around the core, and then tighten. That's pretty much it. It's really not that bad. So like I said, once you know how to do it, you can start playing with it, making your own different variations of it, however you want to do. Now I would recommend you use, I like to use 36, okay, but some people use 34, 32. With this particular braid, it ends up, I'm going to show you in a second, it ends up being very, very wide. It's a very wide, flat braid. All right. Pull it through, tighten it up. Sorry for any movement. Like I said, my tripod's on my vise. And that's it. All right. We're going to do a little up close so I can show you what we are dealing with. And let me do one more here. I got about a 1/2 inch. Now it's going to take a little bit of time because if you're using smaller gauge wire, your braid's not going to be as big, which means in order to get the desired amount for a single coil, it's going to take a little bit, which is to be expected. Braiding is not Claptoning. It doesn't take 2 seconds, and you can't do it with your eyes closed. It's a little bit involved. All right, so I think we got enough here. I'm just going to let go of these, and we'll take it out of the vise so I can show you what it looks like up close. All right, here's the up close macro shot. This is about all I got while I was talking to you guys. But that's it. That's your Slentre Braid. And take your time. Be patient with it, because if you mess up, it's really, really noticeable. That's why one thing I like doing about these coils is that it really takes a lot of precision and patience. Obviously, you can see these two little 24 gauge cores just sitting in there. But if you're using 36 gauge or something like that, you won't have a problem having the braid itself hug the core wires, which is definitely recommended. that's what she looks like. I hope you guys enjoyed this quick little build tutorial I did. I never done one. Probably gonna get some weird remarks, but if you guys have any questions, feel free to shoot me a message or leave a comment. Thanks.